All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Matt's Off the Cuff Gaming. I'm your fearless host, Matt. Let's see if we can get this camera moved to the right spot here. Okay, so as you can see on the screen here, I am kicking off a new series. I get a lot of these games for free every week on the Epic Game Store, which I'm sure many of you do as well. But one of the things I wanted to do was hey, I like building games. I like games where I build cities. I like games where I build stuff. Farming games like Farm Together. I actually got it from my daughter a couple years ago, and it ended up I liked it more than she did. So, and I have some like very extensive farms. It's a very laid back, very relaxing game. So, I like games where I'm building stuff. So, confession time in a former lifetime. I say former lifetime, like 20 years ago. I used to do IT work, and I still keep up with some aspects of technology on computers, but I don't know as much about it as I used to. So, I thought this would be a fun game to play. And pardon me, I'm a little nasally here. Some allergies and lots of changing weather. Like yesterday was like in the 80s and upper 80s, and now today it's like high of like 55. So that's great Midwestern United States weather for you. Okay, so here we go. We I just launched the game. As you can see here, we're at the very beginning. Level one. It looks like I have less than $15. That's interesting. Okay, so we're going to go through this step by step and just we'll see how this game goes and we'll see what we can do here. All right, so it says welcome to PC Building Simulator. To begin, go to your PC by the doorway and open the email program on your desktop. You've got mail. You've got mail. Okay. Um, let's see here. Turn the. Is there? Oh, there is music. Yeah, I usually don't like the music on in games. Okay. All right. So what do we got over here? Not sure what that means. Okay. Look around. ADWS to move. Okay, that's pretty standard. What are these ghost terminals for? Ghost cabinets. You must be level 6 to build a PC storage cupboard. Okay. Alright, let's go to what they said, the email. From Tembo2000 at supermail.com. That's interesting. Welcome to your new PC shop. January 1st, 2018. Okay, so I'm a little behind the times. This is over a 4-year-old game, I guess. Thanks for taking over the PC shop from me. Sorry it's not in a better state. A few things. The company that isn't doing very well and there's no money in the bank account. Of course, that's why I have negative $15, apparently. The rent and energy bills come out monthly, so make sure you have enough money for them. I had a job on the go, which should help with the rent. See email below. Remember to use thermal paste when putting in a CPU. I almost always forget, and the PCs overheat. So I think it's all up to you. It's your company now, so run it how you see fit. I hope you do better than I did. Lots of love, Uncle Tim. P.S. I had to borrow $15 for fuel. You know how it is. How can you borrow if you have nothing? How can you borrow money? There's none there. Negative $15. Oh, okay. All right. So let's go to this. He says we have a virus scam. Hi Tim, I hope you can help me. My computer is running slower than usual. I think I might have clicked on something I shouldn't have. Do I have a virus? Thanks, Gary. Labor $100. Budget 0. What does that mean? Budget 0. Does that mean I don't have any budget to do this job? Oh, maybe that's parts. Maybe because if I'm just removing viruses, I'm not probably needing parts. But okay, all right. So go to the PC stats. What do we have here? Okay, that's just equipment on the computer. Alright. Alright, go to PC. Oh, that's what this is. Okay, so click right mouse button to pick up PC. Oh, am I supposed to take it somewhere? Oh. Oh, click left mouse and place. Okay, I got you. I got it. Alright. The PC can boot to the OS. Remove viruses. Alright, plug the PC in. For this job, you need to run a virus scan. Press 3 or the cable button and plug in the monitor. Our mouse play. Okay. Not plugged in. Alright, so we've got hold right mouse button to rotate the camera. Okay. Oh. Okay. You have to hold on to it. Now you need to insert the USB drive into the back of the PC so you can install the virus scanner. Press 1 or the install button to go to your inventory and select the USB drive. It plugs into the USB slot on the back of the computer. Okay. 1. Oh, down here, install. USB drive under tools and software. Okay. We have thermal paste, compressed air, and a USB drive. Okay. Now press P to power it on. Click the monitor to use the OS. Okay. P. Welcome to the Omega OS. The operating system of choice. Click the Add Remove Programs to install the virus scanner. Don't forget to restart the PC after it's installed. Okay. Virus scanner. You have to drag it. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got it. Double click. Well, this is a slow install. Do we start? Yeah, let's go ahead and restart. I don't know what else we're going to do. Okay, here's our virus scanner. Start scanning. Wow, 1 second to do a virus scan. That's totally not realistic, but whatever. Clean files. All done. You've removed all the viruses in the PC. Pick up the PC with the right mouse button and place it in the delivery area. Okay. Exit. Right mouse button. It's not doing anything. I'm not picking it up. Hello. Bueller. Bueller. Why is it not picking up? Maybe I have to exit. Or... Oh, there we go. Okay, gotcha. Guess we'll put it here. Great, now you just need to collect your pay. Go to your email and hit collect. You've completed your first job. Come back tomorrow, see if there are more jobs to do. Alright. So I'm guessing I can get rid of this. Discard. Probably discard that. Hey, check out Cloud Notes. I was building the PC earlier and I forgot which power supply to buy to support the 3080 I just added. Is something someone who is not using my new Cloud Notes app might say? What? Have you been forgetting things? I think you forgot some words in that sentence. Have you been forgetting things? Need somewhere to note what you've been working on? You could try Cloud Notes. It's a great app where you can write notes for PC building and check them whenever you need to. It's pretty handy. It should be with all your other apps ready to install. Hope it's... Okay, whatever. Something to look forward to. I read an article online about business principles and it got me thinking it's time I took Tim's Red Hot Repair back to its roots. Top priority, I set up a website. The article says you're nobody if you're not on the web. Take a look at what I've got at Tim's Red Hot Repairs. Seriously, open up your browser window and check it out. It's a real website. It took me hours to get it working. As for next steps, I've got to keep my eye on a few local properties. So... there's not a... it doesn't look like there's a web browser on here. Okay, whatever. I just discard. I don't think that means anything. Okay, let's take a look around here real quick. What do we got here? Click left mouse button to open inventory. Oh, we got some cables. So we basically have nothing. Okay. I think we're good. Let's go ahead and leave. What do we got here? Hi there, I just want to say thanks for fixing my PC. It's booting faster than it has in years. I didn't realize your uncle had gone away. It looks like the business is in good hands though. Thanks again, Gary. Alright, thanks, Gary. Help. Sherman Dental. Could you have a look at my PC? It isn't running as fast, blah blah blah. Could you give it a once over? Yeah, sure. So, objectives: remove viruses and clean out dust. Oh, that's probably what the compressed air is for. Okay. Right. Broken graphics card. My graphics card is fried and it needs to be replaced with the same ones, please. An NVIDIA GTX 970, maybe one of those Shein ones. I can drop it by first thing tomorrow morning. Okay. Go to the shop on your PC to buy components you need and have them delivered at the same time as the client's PC. There we go. My microphone was all wonky. I hope it's coming through a lot better now. Okay, so let's see what else is on here. I need someone to buy 500 hard disk drive. I'll bring it by first thing in the morning. Sure. Okay, so it looks like we have to buy a couple things here. So let's go ahead. We need to buy. No, we don't need to buy anything. That's just viruses and dust. All right. So Queen Brittany. That's interesting. Oh, these are all UK address. That's interesting. So it's all based out of London or England, whatever. All right. So we have to go to the shop, but I don't. Okay. Wait a second. Do they buy with credits? What am I looking for here? A Shein GeForce and GTX 970 Gamer. What did I click on? These are processors. I need a graphics card, so I guess I go here. Here it is. Is this the right one? Shein GeForce GTX 970 Gamer. Okay. So, am I buying this? I only have $85. How do I buy this if I don't have enough money? Maybe I have to go negative for a day or two for the... Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and add this to our cart. Now let's see. There was another job that we needed to buy a hard drive, I think. Yeah, Martoni Easy Store 500 gigabytes or better. Oh, wait a second. So this was 265. And this was 265. Okay. Oh, okay. So the budget is to buy the equipment. Okay, I gotcha. All right. So let's go to storage. What was this one? A Martoni 500 gig. That's it. Yep, 50 bucks. Our budget's 50 bucks. All right. So that matches up. Let's go ahead and add it to the cart. Anything else? All right. Let's go to view cart. It's often better to pay for faster delivery than wait days to receive things. I mean, there's not free delivery. Next day. Oh, same day. I don't want it that fast. I don't even have the computers yet. 3 to 5 working days. Why would you wait 3 to extra just to save 20 bucks? Let's go ahead and spend this. What's this going to do? It's going to put us negative. The order will arrive tomorrow. Megacorp Banking, account overdrawn. Here at Megacorp, we know that life doesn't always run smoothly, so we provide free overdraft to all our customers. Your free overdraft limit is $1,000. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I guess there's nothing else to do. I guess we'll just go ahead and end the day. Seems to be simple enough. Customer's PC is here. Click up the right mouse button, take it to your workbench to fix. Yes. Your new parts have arrived. Click on the boxes to put them into your inventory. Okay. So that's... Alright, so these are the 3 computers. Click on this. Manifest. There's the graphics card. There's the hard drive. Okay, cool. Alright, let's do the virus scan first. Oh, look at this. Lots of dust. Clean out the dust. Press the install button to get the compressed air from your tools. Then click on the PC's commands to blow away the dust until all has been removed. Okay. Alright, compressed air. Oh, open the case. How do I open the case? Remove. Oh. Well, that's kind of... Oh, I can just hold the mouse button down. Okay. That's not terrible. Compressed air. How do I know when I get it all? Does that look good? It says it's so... Okay, now it's green. Okay, remove viruses. Let's see, so we have to... Oh yeah, we have to install virus scanner. Power. Why is it... Wait, we have to press P. Oh, there's nothing plugged in. Cable. That's right. Got to plug stuff in. Power. Alright, let's add the virus scanner. Yes, let's go ahead and restart. I bet you this game gets a little repetitive. I wonder if I can really make a whole series out of this. Okay. Alright, incomplete. So we've done these 3, but it says incomplete case. How do we take our USB drive off? PC parts. Side panel. There we go. Okay. Alright, place in the delivery area. Alright. Alright, let's do Queen Brittany now. Let's do Queen Brittany now. Alright, so we gotta replace the graphics card, install the Xi'an GeForce GTX, whatever. Okay, let's click on this. Let's remove this side panel. Alright, there's the graphics card. Alright, there's something blocking it. Oh, the PC lock. Okay. PC parts. No? Probably in graphics cards. There it is. Okay, so, okay, so this one says if it's broken, it says it's broken. Perfect. Alright, so let's do this. Alright, click on it. Oh, there it, okay, gotcha. Install. Alright, I guess we'll put the side panel back on. Oh. Let's close that back up. Let's get our cables installed. I wish there was a way to do that. Can boot to OS. Okay, so we just have to turn it on. Alright. Place the delivery area. Whoops. Alright, and now we gotta install a hard drive. Wait a second. I don't see the hard drive in here. It's down there. Maybe it's probably on this side. That is one thing about working on computers. Yeah, the hard drives are almost always on the opposite side. Okay, so there's the hard drive. So remove. Okay, so it's being blocked by these cables. So I gotta undo this cable. Open the drive bay. Okay. Alright. Boot to OS. Alright. Error, no OS found. Huh. No OS installed. Well, how do we install the OS? How do we install an OS? Is there install software? Oh, for OS. Oh, I should have figured as much. Bootstrapping, formatting, installing core libraries, installing drivers, excuse me, installing marketing IDs, writing the boot sector, booting. Alright, I think that's it. Okay. Alright, let's go to our email. Collect. 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 Wow, we're rolling in the money now. Alright, discard all of those. We've just added the following parts to our range. The Zotac GeForce GTX 1050 Ti OC Edition. Okay. Awesome. Okay, Arctic Freezer. One of those liquid cooling things. Whatever. Level up. Okay. We're at level 2 now. We have no jobs, so let's go home for the day. Let's see if we get some jobs today. I'm not very good with computers, but mine isn't working very well. Working properly. I've been getting very hot. It's been getting running slower and slower. I don't think I hear the fan anymore. It lives on my floor and it's full of dust and of my dust. If you do have to replace the fan, then please pick the cheapest one. I cannot afford anything fancy. Replace the air cooler. Alright. Given my Dynamite PC, she needs lots of RAM, apparently. She says she needs at least 16 gigabytes, and I've currently got 2 gigabytes and 4 RAM slots. Okay. I borrowed my mom's PC. Clicked on something I shouldn't have. Now it's riddled with viruses. Okay. Okay, let's go back to. So what do we need? We gotta buy an air cooler for $10. Jeez. All right. CPU cooling. Oh, we have a Mortoni Thermal 100. That's $10. That's the cheapest one. I guess that's what we need. And then this guy needs 16 gigabytes of RAM, and he's currently got only 2 and only 4 slots. So we either need to buy him a 16 gig stick or 2 8s or 4 4s. He doesn't have 8 spots, so we can't just keep buying the 2s. So we'll probably have to wonder what we do with the old stick, because that one's not going to be, because you have to do them in. I do remember this one thing about memory is that you have to do them in pairs. Well, you can do them single stick, but they don't operate as efficiently. But typically you do them in pairs, and they have to be the same. They have to be the same frequency, and they have to be the same size. Alright, let's click on his stats and see what. Alright, so his frequency is 2133, and he's got a 2 gigabyte stick. Alright. Let's go to the shop and go to memory and see what we can find here. Alright, so how much money do we have to play with? $140. So we could buy 4 sticks of this for $140. Or we could buy 2 sticks of this for $120. Two sticks of this for $140, but it's more expensive because the value, because it's higher. Let's sort it by cheapest to most. What is this one? Oh, that's A data. This is Mortoni. What kind of... he had Mortoni. Okay, he probably wants the same kind of brand then. Do we have any 16 gig sticks? None of the Mortoni. Let's go ahead and buy 2 of these. That's cheaper. Let's save him 20 bucks. Let's see, we got the cooler there. That was just viruses. Okay, so I think we're good to go. So let's go ahead and buy this. Make sure we've got everything we need. I think so. What is this? Oh. Okay. Remove the viruses. Let's do this one. Oops. Don't need to go. Well, that's right. We don't need to get into it. Just viruses. Yeah, I used to really like working on computers. Um, so, the gentleman that I worked for, his name was Eddie. I met Eddie through, I was working at this company called Medical Employment Directory at the time. And I was, the lady who owned it, who, of course, she's since passed away. She passed on a couple years back, but um, she, I was working for her as kind of a favor to my, it was a favor to my mom. My mom was in the healthcare industry, and I was looking for a job. I had been out of work since getting laid off from my job that I had right out of college. And so this is the memory one, okay. And so she gave me a job. And I wasn't making too much, but she wanted me to at least commit to her for a year, and I did. And it was basically a medical headhunter agency. And in working in this place, it was very interesting. I was 20. Let's see, that was 2002. So I was 20. I started working there like right after. Like I think I had my birthday while I was there. I think I started working there the last week of February. My birthday is the first week of March, and so Uh, I started there basically when I was 22, 23 years old, and it was with all women who worked at this agency, and I was the only guy that was there. So it was a little different than what I had been used to. And they had an IT guy who they contracted with. He owned his own business, and his name was Eddie. And he came in several times, and he would talk to me, and he knew that obviously I knew about computers and stuff, and blah blah blah. And so he asked my boss. He's like, I don't really think he's happy doing this work, but I think he's doing it because he just needed a job. He's like, what if he came to work for me? And so she approached, and I did not even ask. I was like, no, I was going to keep my commitment. So they worked a deal out to where, she created a job for me. Okay, it wasn't that she needed me there. She created a job. It was a favor to my mom. And so then I started working with this Eddie guy instead. So I only worked with it at the employment directory place for about a month. Then I started working with Eddie, and I learned quite a bit working with him. And we had different clients. We worked at a law firm. We had some of our clients was a law firm. One was a city hall and fire department and chief and police department of a local town here in my metropolitan area where I live. Um, and a couple other smaller shops and stuff like that. He had quite a bit of business, and some places were busier than others. So I spent a lot of my time at this law firm because they had a lot of computers. One of the things that they did is they were also a collection agency, and so they employed all the collectors, and so they had to have a lot of computers, and so they needed a lot of desktop support, and a lot of it was first level stuff, stuff that I could handle as I was learning. So here, let me figure out what I need to do, and then we'll keep telling this story. All right, so I need to. Here's where the memory goes. So we need to take this out. So the red. All right, so let's open up these tabs here. Let's take that out. Okay. So we're going to put 2 in. So let's go ahead and open up those. Let's go to our memory. There's our used one. So So let's go put this back together. All right. So anyway, so I started working with him, and it was an interesting experience. And I didn't. It wasn't a normal like 8 to 5 job type thing. I'd go to his house and ride around with him and do work. Sometimes I'd go places on my own, but typically I was with him. Um, I learned a lot, and he was generous with to me. Um, Now, the one side effect, the downside to this doing this job, he it was a joint business with his wife. Him and his wife did the business together, and I was their only employee. And um, she was fairly nice, but sometimes it was different. Or sometimes she wasn't nice. Sometimes she was nice. Sometimes she wasn't. Eddie was always nice to me, and but sometimes she wasn't. She was just, I don't know, not sure. She ran basically the office at home, and there were a handful of times where she would call. We used those Nextel phones back in the day. This is 2002 when Nextel was still a thing, and so it was like the push to talk thing. So it was like the walkie-talkie thing. So as long as you're on the cell network, you used the push to talk, and it worked out great. So sometimes she would buzz me, and she would say, "I need you to do this, this, or this," and I would do that, but then Eddie would say, "Well, I really need you to do this instead." And I'm like, "Okay, well, who am I listening to here?" And that went on for a couple months, and typically he only worked with him, but towards towards Labor Day of that same year, so about 6 months later. Let's see what do I got to do? Clean the dust, replace the air cooler, and boot to pieces. Okay, so let's clean the dust out first. So towards Labor Day, the week before Labor Day, it was a Wednesday. I remember this specifically. I was. She had called me and wanted to go to lunch. So she met me out in my. We didn't live too close. We lived about 30 minutes apart. All the dust is cleaned out. Okay. This is the air cooler. Oh, I gotta unplug it. Okay. Whoa, what'd I do? What'd I do? You know what? I wonder if this one didn't have any thermal paste on it. And I saw this had thermal paste. Let's go ahead and apply it. How do I know it's applied? Oh, there's a dot on there. Okay. Missing cables. Oh. Okay. Let's put our case back together. Anyway, so the Wednesday before Labor Day, she called me and wanted to go to lunch. And she said, we really need better commitment out of you. And there was all this stuff that was very odd, because they wanted me, I guess, to become more independent. And I was 23 years old. I didn't really know anything at this point. I was just a year out of college, and I actually hadn't even graduated yet. I had left school early, and so it was a very strange conversation. And I went home, and I was already married. I'd been married almost a year at this point, and I went home to my wife and said, I had the weirdest conversation with his wife at our lunch today. I said, I think they're trying to set me up to fire me. And she said, maybe you're overreacting. I said, I don't know. I said, they're really, they. She said she's not happy with my work and my level of commitment to the business, and that I need to get on a plan. And so my wife's like, well, what kind of plan are you talking about? And I said, well, she wants me to be, at the house, ready to go every morning at 9 o'clock. And my wife's like, isn't that what you normally do? And I'm like, yeah, that's why I was confused. Um, but sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes Eddie would call me and say, hey, meet me somewhere at 11. And we wouldn't start working until 11. Sometimes we work until like 10, 11 o'clock at night because sometimes that's what we needed. So so the next day, Eddie and I work a night shift basically because we had to put all these new lines in at the law firm, and it was a tough job. It really was. We had to like wire these. Um, we had to wire the Ethernet cables, and we had to put new jacks on the lines. And of course, I know how to do that, and I had to do it like it's above in the ceiling at the time because I couldn't pull this cord out far enough. It wasn't long enough. So that was fun, being able to halfway see. I needed to get one of those little lights, one of those camera or light helmet things. So get that job done. He gave me a lot of compliments that night. He said, I'm really, really happy that you're, putting the extra commitment to help me out. Like it was like 1 in the morning, and I'm like, yeah, I just do what needs to be done. This is my job. And the next day, it was a Friday, and we had to go up to that city hall and fire department place I was telling you about earlier. And while we were on the way up there, because there was another guy he kind of works, he had his own business, but we kind of did some work with him. They lived up in the Northland where I live in the metro area, and so we go up and we're going to meet this guy. So on the way up there, and if you don't know this, I have a near photographic memory, so I remember everything. And so on the way up there, the law firm that I probably spent 60, 70% of my time at this one law firm because they just need all the work. So their office manager calls me, and she said, "Hey, we've got 5 new employees that are starting on Monday. Can you be here first thing?" She said, "We've already bought their computers. Can you be here first thing in the morning to get their profiles and all their stuff set up and everything else, blah blah blah, and to get them connected in?" And I'm thinking to myself, and so I asked her, I said, "What time?" Her name was Joyce. I said, "Joyce, what time are they?" She says, "Well, they're going to be here at 9 because they open their office at 9 o'clock." And and I said, "Okay, well, it'll take me about 30 minutes per each one just to get it, connected because the computers are already there. Um, they'd already bought them and everything, and they were ready to go. But I would have to install specific software on them and get them connected to the network. And basically, I plug them into the network, and then I go to the server and I do it all from the server. This wasn't the first time I had done this, and so I told her, I said, well, okay, well, I'll probably be there like at 7 in the morning because I want to make sure I get plenty of time before they come in at 9. And she said, that's fine. And so I'm in the passenger seat and Eddie is driving. And so I said, yeah, Joyce wants me to come by the office at 7. And I said, well, that'll actually be because that day, that Friday, because we had a job out in my area, he actually came and picked me up. I didn't go to his house. So let's rewind it. So back to that Wednesday, had the meeting with Angie on Wednesday to say, hey, you need to be at the house every day at 9 o'clock, no exceptions. Well, Thursday we worked until like 1 in the morning. So we didn't even start working until like 3 p.m., which that's what Eddie told me. And then Friday, he picked me up, which he called me ahead of time and said, I'm going to pick you up. You don't need to come to the house. Because it was completely out of the way to go to his house. So anyway, so we're on the way up there to this job, and so I said, yeah, Joyce wants me to come there early before they get set up, and I said I could go on my own this weekend and get them set up, and then that way they're ready to go. He's like, no, don't do that. He's like, just go there first thing in the morning, and then come over to the house when you're done, and then we'll load up and we'll go over to the medical, because my old employer, medical employment directory, I was like, they need some work done. They have a couple new PCs as well, and I said, okay, I can do that. And then a few minutes later, we're thinking, and then he looks at me and says, oh, he's like, wait a second. He says, Monday is Labor Day. He says, no one's open. The law firm definitely was not open on Labor Day. It was obviously a federal holiday, but most places were not open. We would have worked if we needed to, but none of our clients were open. And I said, okay, well, let me call Joyce back, and I'll confirm with her that she meant Tuesday. So I called her back, and I said, hey, you said we were going to work on Monday, but we're actually working on, but it's Monday's Labor Day. And she says, oh yeah, right. This first day of the week, they're starting actually on Tuesday, not Monday. And so we had a good laugh at that. Blah blah blah. Ha ha. Is what it is, and on our merry way. So we go and finish out the day on the Friday, and since he had picked me up, he took me home. Tuesday rolls around. I wake up about 6:30, get in the car because it's about a 30-minute drive over to where the law firm is. Rush hour traffic. And I'm over there. It's taken me a little longer because the computers had never even been turned on. They were brand new, so I had to make sure Windows was installed correctly and everything else. So these guys were not ready to go at 10 o'clock or at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's a good thing I got there at 7 because at least by 10 o'clock they were ready to go. But it took me a little extra time. So I probably should have realized that. So anyway, about 9:30. So I'm getting close to being done. My phone beeps, because I got the Nextel, the Direct Connect, the beep beep thing. My phone beeps, and it's Angie, and she says, "Can you call me, please?" And I said I'm installing some user profiles in his computers. And I said I can talk here on the push to talk, and she says, "No, I need you to call me, and we need to have a phone conversation." And she says, "And please go outside. Don't do it inside the office." I'm like, "Okay." So I go outside and call her, and she says, Where are you?" And I said, "I'm at the law firm." I used the law firm's name. I said, "I've been here since 7 o'clock this morning. They had new users, or they have new employees, and they called Eddie and I on Friday, and they wanted me to set them up first thing today." She said, "How come you're not at the house?" And I said, "Because I'm at the law firm." And she says, "What was our agreement that we made last Wednesday?" And I said that I would be at the house at 9 o'clock. I said, we had a customer that called and said they needed me at their place at 7 o'clock in the morning, and Eddie agrees with that. They told me to go there first thing in the morning, and then we would hook up when I was done. And she says he has no recollection of that. And I'm like, well, it's what happened. We were in the car, and so I retold the whole story of calling how the Joyce, the office manager, called me, and then I called her back because Eddie reminded me that Monday was Labor Day, so it was really going to be Tuesday. And she says, "You're lying to me." She says, "This is obviously we can't trust you." And I said, "You're lying. I'm lying to you." I said, "I'm recounting exactly what had happened." And I'm really getting mad at this point because I'm like, she's calling me a liar. And I said, "Angie," I said, I had 2 conversations with Eddie about this. And she says, "Don't you raise your voice to me." And I probably did raise my voice because I was not happy. And so she says, "Well, I just don't know if we can trust you or not." And I said, "What do you mean you don't know if you can trust me? So one of your clients called me on Friday, wanted me here at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was here at 7 o'clock in the morning. What do you mean you can't trust me? I'm exactly where the client wants me to be. I mean, should I?" And I got kind of sarcastic. And again, I probably shouldn't have said this, but I said, "Would you rather me go to your house and not do the work and leave the job unfinished?" And she's like, "Don't you take that tone of voice with me." And I'm like, okay, I can see where this is going. And so she says, "Well, Eddie will meet you here in a little bit." She says, "Go ahead and finish your work." And she hung up, didn't even say goodbye. And I'm like, Yeah, pretty sure my time at this company is coming to an end. And so he gets up to the law firm, and I saw the van or his truck outside, and I couldn't find him, but he was in the server room. And I said, Eddie, what's going on, man? I said, do you not remember that whole conversation from Friday? And he looked at me, and it was a look in his eyes. I could tell he knew exactly what I was talking about, but he refused to acknowledge it. I can read people; it's one of my very strongest skills. And he says, no, that conversation never happened. But the look in his eyes completely told a different story. And it's like, you don't remember that conversation. You don't remember Joyce calling me. And I even went to Joyce's office with Eddie. The three of us were in the office. And I said, Joyce, you called me on Friday and wanted me here at 7 o'clock. She says, yes. We had that whole conversation. And I said, I called you back because then I said, oh, you wanted me here on Tuesday, but you said Monday, and we had a good ha-ha about it. And she said, yeah, I remember that whole conversation. And and Eddie just stood there. And I'm like, Eddie, you were in the car. You were the one who reminded me about this. And he said, I don't remember this. And Joyce looked at me, and she looked at him, and she says, is there a problem? And Eddie's like, no, we just had a misunderstanding of where he needed to be. And Joyce said, well, I'm glad he was here because I asked him to be here to set my new employees up. And here I am, I'm playing this game. I'm sitting there telling this story. Anyway, so he I'm like, what's going on? So after he left, he walked out, and then I said a couple of things to Joyce, and I said, this might be the last time I see you. And she goes, why do you say that? And I'm like, I think they're trying to fire me. I don't think they want me to work here anymore. I don't know why. I've not done anything to warrant being fired. And so we finish out the rest of the day. We go back to my medical employment directory and finish up a couple jobs there. And the very last thing he did, we had this special screwdriver that bends, so it's kind of easy to bend around corners, and you can still screw with it. It's really handy for working on computers. And I always loved using it because it was very easy to use. And so we were picking up all our tools, loading them back in the truck. It's like 6 o'clock in the evening, so I've been working for like 11 hours. And I hand the screwdriver back to Eddie, and he says, you keep it. It's a parting gift." And I said, "A parting gift? What do you mean by that?" He's like, "Oh, just it's a parting gift at the end of the day. I'm just giving you this tool." He's like, "You keep it. It's an early Christmas present." I'm like, "Are you?" I said, "Did you mean to say that? Are you firing me?" He's like, "No. Why would you think that?" I'm like, "Okay." So get in my car, because my car was at the same place. And I drive home. 7:30 in the morning on the Wednesday. Not Eddie, but his wife calls me. "Just want to let you know we don't need your services any longer." "Well, can I talk to Eddie?" "No, Eddie doesn't want to talk to you." "I would really like to talk to Eddie about this." "You don't need to talk to Eddie. He doesn't want to talk to you. You're a piece of you know what, and you lie all the time, and we can't trust you." "I lie all the time." "Okay." So she hangs up. I called Eddie. I kept trying to call him. I tried trying to call his phone, kept beeping him and buzzing him, and of course I had the phone was through him. And eventually he calls me back, and he said, "You shouldn't have talked to my wife the way you did." And I said, "What do you mean talk to your wife the way I did? You mean like on Tuesday when she called me a liar? And when you couldn't remember, um, you didn't remember where I was supposed to go that our client asked us?" And he said, "Well, you broke your promise to her that you'd always be at the house at 9 a.m. And I said, "Eddie," I said, "on the Thursday," so that went into effect Wednesday. "On the Thursday, you overrode that because we had an evening job to do. On Friday, you overrode that because you came and picked me up." I'm like, "On Tuesday, you would overrode that because I had to be at this other place at 7 o'clock in the morning. What changed?" Because I forgot something. He said for 3 straight days after you made that agreement with her, you didn't follow through with your promise that you would be at the house at 9 a.m. I'm like, How can I be at the house at 9 a.m. like on that Friday when you pick me up at my house at 8 o'clock in the morning? That doesn't make any sense. So it just tells you what kind of people I'm working with here. And so they got rid of me. They fired me, and then during this conversation I had with him, which was so surreal. I mean, he's just a flat out scumbag liar, is what he is. And then he says, just bring the phone and any equipment that you have over to the house. And I said, if you want any equipment, you're gonna have to come get it. I said, I'm not driving over to your house. And so I put everything in a box. And now that I think about it, I don't remember him ever coming to get it. Maybe I did end up taking it back over there eventually, but I never saw them again. Now here's the funny part. My last paycheck, he didn't send it, didn't send it, didn't send it, didn't send it, and I was getting really. And by this time, I had some another temp job. I was working for this company called Quintiles, and so he finally, and I kept emailing. I was like, please send me my last paycheck that you owe me. I mean, they didn't pay me for my last 2 weeks, and which was about $1,800 or so. And so they finally sent it, and I went to cash it or deposit it in my account. And it's fine. Got deposited in. 3 days later, I get a notice from my bank saying the check bounced. And then it started to dawn on me. I bet you they were having financial problems. They didn't want to pay me anymore. And they just didn't know how to handle that. And so I called Eddie again, and he did answer the phone. And I said, "What is going on?" I said, "This check bounced." And he says, "Well, it shouldn't have bounced." He said, "There's plenty of money in the account." And I'm like, "I'm just telling you, it bounced." And I said, it took you guys like a month to send me the money anyway. I, I'm like, I said, "You're just gonna have to pay me cash at this point." I said, "I'm not taking another check from you." Now that I think about it, I'm thinking back that actually 2 checks bounced. And I said, "You need to cover because I got charged the fee. It came out of, I got charged the bounce fee or whatever out of my account." And so he finally sent me a third check, and I was like, so I went to his bank where it was drawn out of, and I verified that the funds were there, and he did cover the 2 bounce checks, the fees that were on there. So I went to his bank just to cash it, and they said, "Yeah, there's funds in here to cover." It was, like I said, $1,800, and then they put the bank fees on there, but yeah, then they said, "Yeah, there's just barely enough to cover that. There's like $2,000 in the account," and I was like, "Well, I want to cash this right now before this thing bounces again." And so sure, I'm sure that they had financial issues that were going on. So, and then the worst of it all was that I was pretty young and naive about how things worked. He was paying me as a 1099 contractor, and I didn't know that. I thought it was just, I thought I was an employee of his. I filled out a W-2, but apparently they processed it differently. Long story short, I was not, I had no money being withheld for those 7 months I worked with him for payroll taxes, for Social Security, or for federal income tax. So the next April rolls around, and I have to pay both sides of Social Security, and I got to pay all that money for taxes. And let me tell you that when I lost that job, I didn't have full-time work until the following August. So 11 months I was without work full-time, and I had some temp jobs here and there, but for the most part I was not working. My wife was working, but I was having a really hard time finding a job. And then we had to pay all this money in April, and by the time when I paid it, we had about $25 in our checking and savings combined. It was the lowest of the low, and I vowed to never put myself in that situation again. But there we go. So there's the long, sad story of my history doing IT work with Mr. Eddie and his wife, Angie. So I wish it would have ended differently. It's the only job I've ever been fired from. And Looking back on it, I wish I had done a couple things differently. One, I did raise my voice when I was talking to Angie in that conversation. I fully admit that. I know I did, but she accused me of lying to her, and I know I wasn't lying, and I know I was right. I had done exactly what my boss had told me to do. The problem is that I had two bosses. I had a husband and a wife as a boss, and that is a very, very difficult. You're not going to get between a husband and wife. This is not. So he's going to support his wife before he supports his employee. Doesn't matter if he has to lie to do it. He's going to do that. That's what you know. His marriage is more important to him than his employee, which I look at that and I would agree. You do need to, but you can still do things. You can still be have morals and ethics, and so yeah, it was unfortunate. It really was. Um, and this video's gone on for about an hour, and I've done very little work on the deal here. But I wanted to get my little sad sob story out there. The only job I've ever been fired from. Then I went back to work at the company I got laid off from the next August, and I was there for another 15, 16 years. Another 15 years, another 15 and a half years, 16 years, and then I went to the place I'm at now. So I'm in a good spot. It didn't derail my career or anything like that. It's just some interesting ways to kind of get it started. But I did learn a lot from working with that guy. But the biggest takeaway that I ever learned was that never work for a husband and wife ever. And um, I just even if it's someone that I know, I won't do it ever again. And it's just you're not gonna when there's disagreements, you don't know who you're working for, and that's what came up to me. So I guarantee you, neither of them will ever see this video. Well, if they do, I mean, it's on my YouTube page. Whatever. I'm sure they don't follow me on YouTube. I haven't talked to them in 20 years, so it's one of those things. They're probably have grandkids by now, because I think their oldest son was in 6th grade when I worked with him. So if that's the case, so 6 years after, he would have graduated high school probably 2006, 2008, 2010, he'd be 20. So his oldest son's probably in his early 30s now, which means his youngest son is in his mid-20s. Okay, so they're probably about the same age as my cousins that live in California. So, yeah. I have never even tried to look them up. I don't care. Don't care. But anyway, thanks for listening to my really ridiculous story about my IT work. And I can promise you that story is 100% true. I did not embellish any of the facts. I know that I did make mistakes in the conversation. I should have been more calm and collected. I don't think that would have saved my job. I think they had decided the week before to get rid of me. They just didn't know how to do it. So, obviously, they were trying to do something. Anyway, have a great day. Thanks for watching this video. We're gonna pick it up here as I continue on. I promise no more IT stories. See how far we can get in this PC building simulator. Interesting game so far. Wonder if we can actually get to build PCs. So, all right. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.